up, guys? My name is Zach Anderson, and welcome back for another video, which is video number 2 on the channel. And this one is for my new agents out there just getting started or about to take their test. So let's dive in. If you're taking the real estate exam, or if you're about to take the exam, just so you know, last year was 2019. It's the earliest I could find the pass-fail rate that's recorded anyway. They may have the 2020s out, but I was not able to find them. But it was 47% of testers passed on their first time, which is actually way up from when I took my test. I think it was at like 27%, close to 30% of people, only close to 30% of people passed their first time. In addition to that, I think it's 72% fail on the repeat side. So if you don't pass your first time, don't take it too hard, because most people don't. Just study again and retake it. It's not too bad of an exam, but from what I hear, people that don't pass is because they're stressed out and they're just, cramming, the night before, and it just doesn't work out very well. So what I would suggest, how I passed anyway, now I already had a background in some of this stuff, maybe not the license side, but I had an understanding of real estate before I took my test. So studying for it just came a little bit easier for me. But I studied for like 2 months before I took it. And I wanted to make sure that I passed the first time so I could get started. So I studied very hard, and I don't know if I'm allowed to mention schools. I should be able to. I'll leave a link in the description for schools and the schools that I went to pass it. And I did it online, and I got the hard copy book as well, so I could follow along with the online course and do the highlighting and whatnot. But anyway, it's enough about testing. Jumping right into after you pass your test. If you don't already have a brokerage, you got to find a brokerage. Now, my suggestion would be, pick the one that's best for you. But I personally feel, and this is just my own opinion, I like being at a medium-sized brokerage. I don't think I would have liked being at a large brokerage, national brokerage. I like the support I get from the medium size, and I like being able to talk to the brokers, owners, all that good stuff. So now I don't know. I've only worked for one brokerage since I've got licensed. I just hear from other people's experiences. So I don't know if it's better or worse. It's just my own personal opinion. I've done really well in a medium-sized brokerage. So that's just my take on it. But once you find a brokerage, you are going to want to start, I know you're going to want to start getting into business and hitting the ground running. One thing to keep in mind, do not judge yourself. I mean is that starting off as a first-year agent, I pulled some statistics. Now, these are based on the fact that most agents start off as part-time agents, but the salary is about $8,000 that they'll make in their first year. That's just an average. So with that being said, don't judge yourself, just go for it and do the best that you can to develop skills to help you long term, meaning client relations, how to be able to talk to people. And what I would recommend, not only because when you're just starting out, you need money, but also because it's a lot of experience that can be gained, is property management. Now, I am not going to lie to you. It can be stressful at times, and it's very time consuming. And by that, I don't mean that you have to spend all day on it, but you need to be by the phone when tenants call, etc. But it will put money in your pocket month to month until you can build that base and get marketing in place so you can get new deals and all that stuff. But I'll tell you, property management, my broker likes to say this, and it's just a joke, but he's kind of serious. He calls me a 2-year agent that's actually a 10-year agent. And that is because of the crash course that property management will put you through. You will learn almost every piece of legal matter that can be involved in real estate. If you are doing that full time, you will learn a ton about the legal side of real estate, which can help you in the long run, but it also gives you a lot of face-to-face experience. So let's say you've never been in sales before. Now, I'm not saying you have to be in sales to be in real estate, because really the properties sell themselves. But what sales does, if you have a background in it, it helps you have that kind of skill set for talking to people. And if you've never done sales, chances are when you get your license, you're going to be a little nervous to talk to people in a setting to where you're trying to get their business. And that's okay. And there's a lot of ways to get around that. But property management is one of those that can teach that skill, because you're constantly in front of people talking about things that may be uncomfortable at first. So when you're dealing with an upset tenant, that's something that you can't run from. You just have to work through it and help them through their problem. And if you're one that is a little bit timid, that can help get you out of that, because you're constantly faced with confrontation. Not with every tenant, but at least once to twice a week, you're definitely going to deal with some confrontation. Whether they're in the right or they're not in the right, it doesn't matter, because it's giving you that experience and you're getting paid for it. So having $0 a month, instead of struggling out for the next year until you get your name out there and start building business, you can have a monthly paycheck come in. And let's not forget, property management is very important for an investment. It's one of the most important things for an investment. And while you're doing that, you're also getting to know those owners. And when those owners are ready to sell, who do you think they're going to call to sell their property? They're going to call the person that they are dealing with on a day-to-day. So those are future sales that you're already lining up. So I think it's a great value to get into property management early on, but a lot of people don't want to do it, and trust me, I understand why. I've stepped back a lot from the properties that I manage, especially once you get up to 100 units, because I was towards the end of my first year, I was on a very big sales streak. I was doing really good. I was moving properties and creating a lot of value for my clients and getting new clients, but eventually my property management portfolio got too big, and I was at about 100 plus units, just over, and my sales just went straight down. I just wasn't selling properties because I wasn't putting a lot of time into getting new clients and pitching new deals. So I say take property management in strides. Take only what you think you can handle while you're still selling properties. But I think that for the experience, it's a great place to start for sure, and it'll put some money in your pocket. Finding new clients and closing deals. How do you even start? Well, truthfully, when you're a first year agent, you're probably going to be dealing, at least maybe not for the whole year, but definitely early on, you're going to be trying to get referrals or word of mouth through family and friends, and just getting your name out there. Definitely start a social media page. I would suggest that. And then share it to your friends and have them try and see if you can get maybe a listing, or someone is trying to buy a house and they want to use a friend. That's how most new agents are going to be selling deals, and that's fine. It gets some sales under your record, and it shows you're selling deals, and you can start getting that closing experience to pitch to new clients. But as far as new deals, how do I get them? Well, if your brokerage doesn't give you leads, well, you're going to have to market yourself, and for a while you'll survive on referrals and word of mouth. But you can also, and a lot of the real estate gurus frown on this, but again, back to my original point, if you've never been in sales before, I think this is a great way to learn this experience of being able to talk to people and be in a sales situation, is call for sale by owners. I'm sure you've heard it before, and it's probably in your real estate courses. I think I remember, in at least Florida's anyway, it's definitely in there. But call for sale by owners, and most of the time they're going to hang up on you, and that's just a fact. And that's okay, because you need to be able to take rejection. But call them, try to get as long through the conversation as you can, honing your skills. And before you call them, think of situations in a sales pitch to get their listing. Do it in the mirror, do it in your head. Just get comfortable with talking about real estate. And when you're making those calls, don't take the rejection as a loss. I mean, you're honing your skills for when the time is right for you to start getting business on your own. You need to be able to talk to clients and be comfortable with that. So it's no different right now. I don't do a lot of videos and all that. I just started, so it can be a little unnerving talking to a camera and there's nobody else in here. But you know what? I'm learning how to do it, and I'm getting more comfortable with it each time I do it. And it's no different than doing cold calls and going to try and get for sale by owners. You're honing a skill, and that's what needs to happen to progress. This comes back on don't judge yourself. So when you are in those sales situations, you're just starting, you're calling for sell by owners, and you are pitching your services, don't judge yourself when you fail. If you fail, when you get rejected, don't judge yourself. Just think of it not in a way that you're going to get business, but that you are going and practicing a skill so you can get better and better and better. If you look at it that way, you'll take the loss a lot less heavy, and it'll benefit you long term. But definitely hone those skills. Don't be afraid to make the calls and just go for it. My next tip for a new agent, and I have made this mistake, and it took me a little while to learn this, and I'm sure you've heard this already before from somebody since you've started going down the real estate journey of getting your license or whatever the case is. But let's say you get your first deal. Congrats to you. That deal is never closed until the money comes into your account. I don't care if it's an hour away from signing, if the client's at the table signing the deal and it's 5 minutes until ink is on paper and the loan is going to be funded. You do not close the deal until the money is in your account. Okay, do not make plans or count on the money until you have it. That is a terrible mistake to make. I've been there, I've done it, I even still sometimes do it, and it just sets you up for letdown because deals can fall apart at the last minute for no reason at all, way out of left field reasons that you wouldn't even think of. It just happens. It's part of the game, it's part of the business. So don't spend money that you haven't had in your account yet, because I can tell you, whatever brokerage you go to, if you ask some of the older he or she's that are licensed, they are going to tell you the same thing, and it's just a very bad practice to start getting into a habit of. So just don't, and always keep in mind, deals are not closed until the money is in your account. My next tip, from my experience anyway, always focus on your current deals. Yes, of course, give them the most attention as you can, but in between calls throughout the day while you're waiting on closing, make sure that you're always putting in work to keep that pipeline full. Okay, you don't want to have just 2 deals. That's great to have 2 deals, but don't just focus on those 2 deals closing. This goes back on counting on deals that haven't closed yet and counting on money that's not in your account yet. Always have the pipeline full. You're always making moves to keep those deals rotating in to close. That's how the biggest guys do it. It's how the biggest agents do it. They always have their pipeline ready. Deals fall apart, they have other ones coming in. That's how you don't get in these big slumps. Let's say you're on a hot streak, you're selling a lot of properties, you got a lot of money coming in. You're a year into it now. When I say keep the pipeline full, keep it full, and no matter how big it gets, just keep trying to get new business while not sacrificing focus on your current clients that are trying to close deals. You have to manage your time well, and you have to keep getting new business in. Otherwise, you're going to get lax and you're going to get lazy, and I am guilty of that. I've done that quite a few times, and it's you got a lot of money in the bank account, and you're like, wow, it's easy to get complacent. Don't do it, because you're going to wake up in a month and not have any deals on the board, and now you're going to have to start grinding and hustling way harder than you would have if you would have just kept working and working and working and working. Now, I've put that issue to bed pretty early on, but I have done it. It's easy to do when you got a big bank account that you've had a really good few months, and you're just, oh, okay, well, deals are coming in and I got deals ready to close, and just don't do it. Just keep focused, keep trying to build the pipeline no matter how big it gets, and keep pushing deals through. And lastly, I guess for newer agents, my last tip would be, after that, always stay in touch with your clients after a closing, especially in residential. When deals close, follow them up every few months, and hey, how you doing? How you liking the house? It's easy for me to do that, as far as I don't do a lot of residential, but the ones that I have done, it's easy to do just because I care about how they're doing in their new home. And if you're like that, it'll be easy for you as well. They may not be buying a house for another 10, 15, 20, 30 years, but their friends are, their family members are. So when they're asked a year from now, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house. Does anyone know an agent? Well, if you haven't talked to your previous client in a year, they might not be able to remember you right off the top of their head. Maybe they're at a party, it's hectic, whatever. But if you are constantly, every few months dropping in, hey, just checking in, seeing how you're doing, who do you think they're going to refer? It's going to come right to them because they've talked to you recently. And they enjoyed the experience with the services that you provided, and they're going to refer you, so you're going to get another deal out of that. So always keep in contact with your previous agents. But as far as any more tips, that's the gist of it to get started. And then after that, once you've got that, it's going to be going into marketing and finding what works for you, and just trying to figure it out like the rest of us. But if you're just getting started, congratulations, work hard, stay focused, and good luck to you. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. Leave a comment if you have any commentary, and subscribe if you don't mind. If you like the content and you want some more of it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll have new videos up every week on different topics pertaining to real estate as far as my experience will allow me to take it. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you for stopping by, and have a good one.